There is always a sense of curiosity at the heart of science. Every discovery begins with a "what if it's not so" question. In 1927, on the hot soils of Australia, at the University of Queensland, when a physics professor started a small experiment about the nature of matter, he was also initiating the longest-running laboratory observation in human history. This professor, Thomas Parnell, wanted to show his students a simple concept. The difference between a solid and a liquid is not always as clear-cut as it seems. To prove this idea, he used a black, dense, almost stone-hard substance called pitch. This material, used in road construction, felt solid to the touch. If struck with a hammer, it would break. But Parnell knew a different reality lay beneath that appearance. Pitch, though seemingly a frozen mass, was actually a very slowly flowing liquid. And so, an experiment began that would challenge the boundaries of human patience. Parnell heated the pitch until it became liquid, and carefully poured it into a glass funnel. He sealed the bottom of the funnel and left the substance to settle for years. As the pitch cooled, it solidified again, and years later, the bottom of the funnel was opened. Now all that was left to do was wait. Seemingly entirely motionless, this black substance was in fact flowing downward under gravity's patient effect. Yet the flow was so slow that it could not be measured in a human lifetime. It would take 11 years for the first drop to fall. In 1938, the first drop separated from the surface of the pitch and landed in the glass jar below. No one saw that moment, but scientific history officially recorded it as the slowest moving liquid. Years passed, the world changed. Wars, innovations, and scientific revolutions followed one another. Yet, in that small laboratory at the University of Queensland, time was almost still. When the second drop fell in 1947, no one noticed either. By the time Parnell passed away in 1948, he had only witnessed 2 drops fall. Still, the experiment he started did not stop. New generations of physicists continued it with the same patience. Now it was not just about the fluidity of a liquid, but about scientific continuity itself. Watching the pitch fall was almost impossible. Each drop formed every 8 to 13 years, but no one managed to catch the event. Cameras were installed, recordings were started, but something went wrong each time. In 1988, as the 8th drop fell, the lab was closed that day. The recording system had failed. The experiment reminded science once again of how fundamental patience is as a virtue. Throughout this process, scientists tried to solve the mysterious nature of pitch. Measurements revealed that the viscosity of pitch was exactly 230 billion times higher than that of water. This proved that even a nearly motionless substance could be a liquid. Pitch was motionless on the surface, but in constant motion on an atomic level. Over time, this simple experiment became a model not only for material science, but also for studies in geology, physics, and materials engineering. By the 2000s, the experiment was exhibited inside a glass case. The pitch was kept at a constant temperature to prevent environmental effects, and it was broadcast live over the internet for everyone to see. People from all over the world waited for that black drop to fall. But pitch was nature's most patient liquid. No one could keep up with its pace. Interestingly, for the first time, a pitch drop was recorded not in Australia, but in Ireland. A similar experiment, started at Trinity College Dublin in 1944, was captured on camera in 2014. After 90 years of scientific patience, a drop slid down in front of cameras and went down in history. At the Queensland experiment, however, no one has yet witnessed a drop fall. But this did not stop the experiment, because each movement of the pitch has become a symbol of the silent process of science and time. Today, scientists view this experiment not only as a physical process, but as a metaphor for the nature of time. Every drop represents the invisible flow of time. Every stretch of waiting tells of humanity's patient pursuit of knowledge. The experiment started by Parnell is now the shared heritage of not just him, but of different generations. The University of Queensland has now placed the experiment under special protection. In the laboratory, the 9 drops accumulated under the funnel stand as witnesses to nearly a century of patience. No one knows when the next drop will fall. Estimates point to sometime in the 2030s, but the uncertainty makes the experiment even more fascinating, because what really matters here is not human time, but nature's own rhythm. The pitch drop experiment is one of those rare events symbolizing the continuity of science. Generations have changed, Technologies have evolved, but those drops have continued to fall. Each one represents a time span longer than a human lifetime. Because the essence of science is not the curiosity of a single generation, but the common curiosity of many. Officially registered by the Guinness Book of Records as the world's longest-running laboratory experiment, this experiment has continued since 1927. In nearly 100 years, only 9 drops have fallen, but each one makes the patient flow of time visible. Each drop is an echo of the universe's slow but steady movement. The true value of the pitch drop experiment lies not in the numbers obtained, but in the meaning it represents. This experiment quietly teaches one truth: the unseen might also be moving. Silence is sometimes the deepest form of motion. The molecules of pitch, every second, every year, every decade, separate from each other and drift downward. Yet the eye assumes nothing is happening. Thus, the experiment shows not only the limits of physics, but also those of human perception. Today, cameras are still operating at the University of Queensland. Scientists are patiently waiting for the next drop to fall. But this wait is no longer a race, it is a ritual. Because the meaning of the experiment lies not in the drop, but in the waiting itself. The pitch drop experiment represents science's understanding of infinite time. Some discoveries occur not in haste, but only as much as time allows. This silent observation, approaching a century, leaves a deep lesson for science and humanity. Speed is not always progress. True progress sometimes comes only from knowing how to wait. As each drop of pitch measures time, drop by drop, it reminds us that human curiosity is never exhausted. And perhaps that's why the world's longest-running laboratory experiment still continues. Because those drops represent not only pitch, but also humanity's patience. Each one carries the slow but determined march of time. As the pitch falls like a silent poem, the scientific world is still listening for its sound. If you enjoyed this unique story of science and human patience, don't forget to like the video. For more intriguing science content like the pitch drop experiment, you can subscribe. In the comments, don't forget to share the part that surprised you the most and discuss your thoughts about the flow of time with us.